And my question again is, as much as they want to take out these furniture expenditure shared with us, and we see a whole 1 billion for furniture. As an interior designer personally, I cannot imagine doing a project for 1 billion just to provide furniture. And I'm like, so if you guys actually have the audacity to bring out 1 billion just for furniture, what aren't you going to do to enable yourself to open up a company and produce sanitary towels, you know? So it's like you're doing things at my expense as the girl child. And as much as people usually say, what about the girls in the rural areas? For real, what about the girls in the rural areas? Because for myself personally, I don't think I have ever gotten to a place in my life where my parents could not afford giving me sanitary towels. But I am part of the minority. The minority of the children in Kenya. The reason these brands used to go to school is first because parents could not afford, because they used to give us the free sanitary towels. Some parents could not afford to actually give this to their girls, and they can't, it's not sustainable for them to do that every single day, every single month throughout the country. So I don't understand why they'd want to make a basic need. It's actually a basic need for the girl child. You're going to make the pads expensive, and we have as people we've been seeing on social media, they're not taxing condoms. They're not taxing condoms. People are saying having intercourse is an option, but me bleeding is, I don't have an option, you know. So I also don't really understand that whole thing. Yeah.
Okay, Richard, from your perspective, what are some of the legal challenges that we are likely to foresee should the finance bill go ahead and get passed as it is, and in light to the economic burden to many of the Kenyans?
I don't claim to be an economist, but what I do know is that from my study of economics is that there's what we call the Laffer curve. The Laffer curve states that basically taxation, when you graph it, when you put it in a graph, is a curve. So there's an extent beyond which if you go, you're actually getting less taxes. So the implications that you're going to get is that the government will end up not meeting its obligations, both internationally and locally. So we might end up not financing things we ought to finance. So for me, the way I'm looking at it is that, first of all, before we get to this conversation of the finance bill, there was a bigger conversation when it came to the budget. So that now we are coming at the tail end and financing a budget that has already been passed. If you look at the select committee that was handling the budget, if you look at the estimates and the expenditure that is there, it is insane. For example, you see that $1.3 billion has been set aside for advising the president. And if you look at,
how ridiculous is that?
It's very ridiculous, because if you look at because the Attorney General is the legal advisor to the president. He has CSs that are advising him. There are even advisors who are already paid, like David Lee, okay? Economic advisors who are under the payroll and who we know. So where is it 1.3 billion that the president needs to be to get other financing? So those are the legal implications that I'm seeing, and I'm seeing that there are some violations on other laws, because you see, it is the function of the government to ensure our social economic rights under Article 50. So if we see the budget being allocated, or we see money being misappropriated that was meant to do functions that we expect of our government, being going into people's pockets. I saw Sudi the other day flashing 20 million in church. So what are we saying?
So if there were proper checks and balances in terms of how government spends the money, how will we, I mean, will our debate be different? The protest will be different? Or what do we see? Because some of the comments that I picked actually from Generation Z was the fact that there were no checks and balances when it comes to the use of public funds.
Can I say something? The greatest sin committed by President William Ruto is usurping the function of Parliament. In fact, not only should we occupy Parliament, but we should rescue Parliament, because Parliament is held hostage by the executive. In fact, it is absolutely wrong, and I say this without any fear of contradiction, for Parliament to be seen to be in bed with the executive. Why did Parliament make the statements for the amendments in setups?
I don't know.
The independence has to be there. It has to be perceived. It is not President Ruto telling Parliament what to do. It is Parliament that's supposed to tell President Ruto, no, here are your excesses.
Rebecca, do you feel, I mean, roping you into the conversation, do you feel if we were to get a parliament that actually is for the people and not pro-government, would we be having a very rich debates on the floor of parliament and even talks that are more focused on the people themselves?
I think we wouldn't be here today. I think me and you wouldn't be talking about the current situation that is happening, because this would have been a legislature that is working for the people, a legislature that is or rather endorsing laws, making laws that are for the people, for the betterment of Kenyans. And maybe just to give my people just a brief overview of the legislative process, that because you mentioned something to do with the amendments done at the parliament, and I was like, it's really important for my people to understand where we are at. So legislative process, we normally have approximately five processes, which the first one is the first reading, whereby the bill is first being presented in the parliament, and then the title is being read. You know, nothing basically happens during that particular time, and then now we go to the second reading. The second reading is whereby the members of parliament now debate on the clauses of the bill, and then they vote. This is what happened on last week, whereby members debated upon the bill and the clauses, and they voted, and you could see 204 voted yes, 115 voted no, and therefore that means the bill has passed the second reading. So it proceeds on to the committee stage. The committee stage is whereby the members of parliament, now the parliament becomes a plenary committee, whereby they start to discuss it in details. And in these details, each clause, they go per each clause, and therefore in this clause they can make amendments during this time or not. And then now they go to reporting stage. Now the reporting stage, now it comes whereby now the amendments that they had made in this bill, they can now vote on them or no. So then it goes to the third reading. Yes, you're correct. We go to third reading. Now third reading. Now this is the final stage for the parliament participation on whether to vote the bill or not. And now after the third reading, which now is the final, now they go to once the bill has passed, has been agreed by both by all people. Now it goes to the president for assent. Now the president, if is happy with the bill, can sign it into law, or they can make changes. They can, or he or she can suggest changes to be made on that particular bill, and these changes they are being brought back to the parliament, and then they can discuss it, and only two-thirds of the parliament can vote it out, can vote the changes out from the bill. So at the moment we are headed to at the committee stage. Yeah, just wanted to outline that so that people know where we are from and where we are going. It is really important.
Before I go to you, Kulola, Rebecca, just thank you so much for enumerating the process in itself. How can we be able now to salvage and ensure that even as the protests continue, the Kenyan voices are being heard within the line of the process in itself where we are?
Right now is by I think by trying as much as possible, because as my colleague has said, Richard, that we have a weak legislature. That's the truth of, that's the reality of the situation. We have a weak legislature. So this by going out kwa kujitokeza to protest, tufanye peaceful protest, tusiharibu vitu, nini pale tukiwa pale tunasema tu hizi ndo rights zetu, tunataka mtusikize. By the end of the day, those MPs, we elected them. We the people, are power to the people. I mean, we are the people who elected them. So it is up to them to hear us out from the. I think I'll just make this comment. It is high time they see they are petty. So it is high time they see that we are the bigger people. We try as much. It is high time we show them how to be the bigger person in this picture, and how do you show them to be the bigger people in the picture? By not destroying any public property, by just peacefully exercising our right, which is in the constitution, and hoping that they hear us. Honestly, we have no, but we hope that whenever they vote, the MPs that are there that are representing us, they actually do their work. Otherwise, the thing is, one thing I'll say is that you have recourse if in the unfortunate event that this particular bill passes and it has some clauses that are not really friendly to the citizens. Citizens are always welcome to approach the court of law to seek justice. Let us not use backdoor. I know it is a country where backdoor has been used on several occasions, but let us try as much as possible to show them to be the bigger person. Now that they wameshindwa, tufanyeje? Sisi watoto ndo tuje basi sasa tuonyeshe kuwa haya tunafanya hivi.
Kulela, from your perspective, tomorrow you're going back to protest, and you said you're an online keyboard warrior and all that. How are you sustaining that conversation past tomorrow?
I think I constantly having the conversation. I think I'm keeping the fire alive. People on social media right now are saying, yes, use the hashtags of free Shad. Where is Shad? But again, yes, as much as we're using these hashtags, continue sharing the message, continue having this conversation. Let's not because maybe they're doing these things to take us away from what our goal actually is. Let's continue to know that this is not our enemy, but you're our enemy for abducting these guys. But we continue having the conversation and educating ourselves on matters of the finance bill and what the courts actually, what our rights are as per the constitution. If at all this bill passes, then what else can we do? And we will stick to the streets because if I remember what was taught in SST, I'm not a lawyer yet, but what I learned in SST is government is ruled for the people, by the people, and rule for the people, of the people, and by the people. So if I'm to look at right now, we do not have a government, because if I am government and I've sent you off to be my representative and you're not representing me, then who are you? You're an intruder to the system, you know. So let's stop being intruders to the system. Do better. Do what we set you to do there. Your allegiance is not to the president of Kenya. Your allegiance is to us, the citizens of this country, and to the people who actually put you into this seat, because you didn't get there. You didn't magically appear there. You had to champion for yourself, and we had to believe in you. So stop killing the fire we had in you before and stand up. Stand up.
Richard, from your perspective, as the youth tomorrow embark on the protest again, what are some of the do's and don'ts? And given the fact that, I don't know, we saw police using force last week, but bearing in mind that at the back of our mind, how should they be safe and protecting themselves even as they go to the streets?
First and foremost, I encourage each and every young person to go out and protest. Do not be intimidated by what the executive is telling you. When you go out there, simple rules. Do not destroy property. Do not injure people. And do not incite violence on other people. Even the way you use your words to protest against the government, but don't incite violence against another group. Because people might have a different perspective, and it's okay to have a different perspective. Don't go overboard in your protest and incite others. And also, for security reasons, do not go to personalized attacks. You might have a different. It's okay to have difference in opinion, and you might not agree with your member of parliament and their stand, but don't go to the extent of attacking their personal their families, and intruding their personal spaces, because they also have privacy rights that are protected under the Constitution. So these are some of the issues that the youth should take into account. When tear gas is thrown, do not try and throw back. Do not throw stones. Do not come with weapons, because this will go to agitate the police to retaliate, and this government will do anything to try and paint this protest in a bad light. So my fellow comrades, come out, protest with your placards. Come up, make sure that you have your group. You divide yourselves into groups, and make sure that you hold yourselves accountable. So if you're in a group of 10, you're in a WhatsApp group or a group of 100, come together, make sure you're together, you move together, and you hold each other accountable, so that no one goes beyond. For example, no one becomes too excited. And then, of course, protests in this country are between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. Anything beyond tends to attract violent protesters, and it will bring you into trouble with police officers. So these are some of the highlights that I'd like to share with my fellow.
Rebecca, from your perspective, what are some of the legal instruments that are there should the bill now proceed to committees, the third reading and all that, and the remedies that actually now the people who are protesting can be able now to leverage themselves in support of what they really are asking for?
I'll just say one of the instruments, the legal instrument they have, the constitution, which is the supreme law of the land. They have right now. I can say that they can also approach court. That's one of the remedies. They can approach court that the said bill be declared unconstitutional, and therefore they have the right under the constitution, under various legislation to seek remedies. And for example, they can even challenge this particular notice by our CS. Honestly, Kindiki is an advocate and of the High Court of Kenya. I really expected a lot from him. He knows that the civil procedure rules require that if you are to give notice, sufficient notice, it has to be 7 days, and these 7 days do not include weekends, and you cannot issue notice past working hours. Hapo ameniangusha.
Kulala, from your perspective as you finish, what support do you need, especially from members of the bar, the law guys, even as you continue to picket? What are some of the support that you need?
I think what we are doing right now for them to continue giving us civic education, because as I was telling them earlier, I don't think people know it's unconstitutional for you to be on the streets past 6 p.m. Yeah, past 6 p.m. you're unlawfully on the streets for protest. So ikifika 6 p.m. you should be out of the streets, as he has said. So it's for them to give us civic education, and as the Law Society of Kenya has also been doing, and people who have unlawfully been arrested have been taken out of the prison cells. And yeah, I think we need them to continue doing that, because they are our learned friends, so they can continue to enlighten us where we fail to understand, because we can't claim to know everything. We don't know everything. So because they know better, I think we would appreciate if they were to continue shedding light on what our actual rights are and how to go about these things. Yes.
Richard, your closing comments.
My closing comments are to the President directly. Mr. President, the writing is on the wall. You have been weighed on the scale, and your government has been found wanting. Mene tekele un per se. Mr. President, the only way to salvage yourself is to listen to the will of the people. The people of the Republic of Kenya elected you with a mandate. You are seated there not to do as you please, but to do as they please. Kindly, Mr. President, listen to the people. At the end of the day, the buck stops with you. So, my plea to you is that, Mr. President, kindly listen. The nation is hurt. To my young people, it doesn't stop with the finance bill. I am asking you and I'm imploring you to come out. In fact, if I may educate you, the budget process for 2025-2026 begins on the 20th of August this month. The budget process. Scrutinize every document. Mine is to implore you to read. Get in touch, get involved with governance. This is your country. Read a newspaper, get involved in it. Public participation. The government normally invites everyone for public participation, but there's normally low turnout. And I would even challenge you further that your county governments have their various finance bills. Go to your counties, see what they're taxing. If you have a wines and spirit, how much are they? What are they introducing when it comes to licensing fees for your businesses? Check that. If you're in Kajiado, if you're in Nairobi, if you're in Narok, young people, it is time we take this country and take charge of it. That is my plea to young people, beyond the finance bill. If you do not have a voter's card, now is not the time to sleep. Now is the time to be registered as a voter. If you want to form political parties, go ahead, form political parties. Let us go away from tribal politics. Let us come to idea-based politics. Let us change this nation, one young man after another, and let us show our parents that we can do it. That is my parting.
Thank you so much, Richard. Yes, Rebecca, your parting shot.
Okay, my message first will go to Mr. President. Kindly, I won't say so many things about you, so just go read Mshtai Kimea. I think you'll get it all. And when it comes to my people, I want to say that I'm so proud of you. The way you've come out so strongly to defend what is yours. The future is you. Do not relent. Continue fighting for what is yours. Come out. You don't have to be violent. Don't be violent. And they will listen to you. So I'm so proud of you. Continue doing what you're doing. The future is us. And to the members of parliament, kindly let you not take us to the Moism era, whereby democracy was it was just a concept. Kindly let us have you have free will. You can choose to vote yes. You protected, at least vote yes. Vote the right thing. At least you'll sleep soundly at night. You'll be, by the end of the day, we are your children out there in the street. Imagine your child out there on the street protesting for something that you're going against simply because you're afraid. Don't chicken out. It is your time to shine for what is right, and just be courageous, just like us, that you are going to, that the law is going to protect you. Act by what is right, right. I know there are some other external forces that might force you to do the wrong thing, but trust me, just be on the right foot. We'll protect you.
I think what I will say to the president and the rest of the leaders in the country is respect is earned. It's not compulsory for you to get respect. So please, you ought to earn our respect. You cannot be disrespecting me by me giving you my money in form of taxes and you're financing your luxurious lives and giving us funny offices that are very unconstitutional, very unlawful. So please, have respect for us, because I truly believe you have earned our respect. So I think it's up to you. Oh, wait, what? Yeah, I think it's up to you to earn our respect. If we are, yes, let us do something for us to respect you, because at this point, Kenyans are tired. Kenyans are actually very tired, and it's not only Gen Zs. Gen Zs are out here as the voice of many. We are the ones who have gotten the courage to actually be able to stand up and say, we are tired. But I want to tell you, many people are tired. Our parents are tired. Our grandparents are tired. My small brother, who's not yet done in school, is already tired. I don't think he's ready to come out yet, to come out into this world. So please stand up. And to the rest of my friends and my fellow young people, continue going on. And also, please free Shad. Free Shad, let us know where he is. And yes, and there's somebody else who has been abducted today. Also that one, when I get to know his name, we shall say his name. Free these people, stop abducting us, stop intimidating us. We shall not be shaken. We will continue to stand strong with our heads held up high, because we are in the right, and we are only here to speak for ourselves, yeah? We're not speaking for anybody else. There's no selfish, there's nothing I'm gaining personally by speaking out. All I'm going to gain is my right as a citizen of this country. So to the young people, continue doing what you're doing. You will be remembered. You will be remembered by many, and history is being written right now. So continue writing history, continue educating yourself, and again, we're going to win. No fight is going to be left like that. So yeah.
Thank you so much, my panelists. For me, it's a good night. I'd like to make a plea for those that are going outside tomorrow to protest. Please do it peacefully, do it within the law.